So
All right, what's going on, guys? Back for another episode. We have j.velt, our guest speaker, and Cam, as always, and Little Miss Beans. All coaches again, still.
yeah, yeah. Thanks for having me on, man.
Yeah, no worries. So you were talking about your shows always being late?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it was so fucking bad. Like, I luckily managed to get off at 9:30, but like I said, we were first. Fucking bodybuilding was first, then it was classic, then it was men's physique. But yeah, Bangkok was probably
What
the
time was the
worst run show I've
prejudging?
ever seen. Um, well, that was the only one that didn't do like a prejudging and finals. They sort of just ran it. They run it so inefficiently, man. So like they literally go every class. This one thankfully did bodybuilding, then classic, then men's physique. But they get you on, do your like prejudging, come off, come back on, do your like finals, go off, come back on, and do awards.
Yep.
But they do it like all the open classes. So it'll be like starting from lightweights up to super heavies, off, lightweights, start again, up to super heavies, off. And they ran it like that. Um, and so it's like you're just constantly just walking around in circles. You're like, why don't you just fucking leave us on the stage? And then at least like in Australia, they um do your mandatories and then take you off and then bring you back on for the awards. And it was like a bit more simple that way, but we're just off and on and off and on. But at I think it was Japan, they did all that with bodybuilding and classics. So it was literally everyone did their prejudging off and then start again from classic physique to do finals straight back on. So you're just sort of waiting around the whole time with not like you don't really have a good idea of what's fucking going on and yeah, but it was just it was just so poorly run. No one had any idea. I'm pretty sure they just hired like random people to do to do all like the backs like staff to do the backstage like organizing and stuff like that. But honestly, one of the biggest issues was the fact that there was just like 50% of the dude was like Middle Eastern Iranian dudes that just couldn't speak any English. And the communication was just like you have literally people who don't speak any English trying to communicate to people in Thailand who speak broken English. So it's like it was just a shit fight the whole time where no one was able to be organized at all. But yeah, that was the worst organized show I've been to, man.
They're
It
gonna
was
have to
so
start
bad.
doing like toilets instead of writing or yelling out the pose. They're gonna have to have TV on the stage that shows their pose they have to do.
Yeah, literally. They like half of them, yeah, they'd call it, but like they didn't even know what to do. And then they'd like halfway through, they'd just randomly like start walking off the stage because they thought they were done. And yeah, like dead set, the judges were like screaming at them and swearing at them. The judges are like coming backstage, like picking out people who are meant to be on, like just they were going off the head of them. They were so sick of it by that point. They were so
Uh,
angry.
did you have actually many people in your lineup in Bangkok or?
Yeah, it was because again, like there was like no Thai people. The whole show was foreigners. Like because Thailand doesn't give a fuck, and I think that's the reason that like this show is so full of like these Iranian guys or just Middle Eastern guys in general, is because they struggle to get these visas to everywhere else. But Thailand just lets everyone in, so that's why I think there was so many of them in that show. But yeah,
Yeah, and
I
enter
had
at your own risk.
fucking yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I had like 10 or so. I think I had almost 10 in my lineup. And then every class had, yeah, it was the biggest show. There was like 400 competitors.
Yeah, that's
Mm.
crazy.
Yeah, it was quite a lot. But yeah, and there was like no Thai people. Like the Thai people are only in the men's physique.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So how
but
many shows did you do in total for the season?
four. So I started in
Yeah.
Philippines and then did back to back the next week at Vietnam. 2 week break for amateur Japan, and then back to back Japan to Bangkok.
Yeah. What do you prefer, like the 1 week turnaround or 2 week?
Um, I prefer, yeah, probably the 2 week turnaround.
Two
Like
week, yeah.
the the 1 week it would have been okay, but we just had so much shit go wrong after that first one that I just didn't have enough time to correct any issues, and then I felt like the rest of the prep. What I really needed to do was like take even more time off and probably do a show even later. Like I probably should have done Taiwan in like mid-December, to just correct the issues that came up. But we're fucking stubborn and we keep trying to push through. And
What were the issues that you
so
into?
basically, after that first show, like fuck, I don't want to speak badly or anything, but the coach I
Is it
was
with
working with,
Compton? Yeah,
yeah, and so
yeah.
the it was just planned out badly, man. The whole peak, like, first of all, there's no data at all tracked across any of the prep. All of it's just winged, like, and we're just like, yeah, have a refeed this day, and then eat, and it's like, okay, cool. Then you come back down. He's like, yeah, have another refeed now. It's like, okay, and he's just giving me sort of random amounts to eat. Like nothing's like kept track of, because also it's like, yeah, have a refeed today, and I'll chat to you again in 5 days. And I'm like, okay, you have no idea what this refeed does to me at all.
Mm.
So come to peak week, he's sort of he was giving me the refeeds that were a lot smaller than our actual refeeds, when I was having the refeeds previously, and I was still needing more. Like I'd have a refeed and my weight would usually go down, and then he was giving me refeeds like every 3 days or 4 days. But then we get into peak week and it's like they're very small amounts of carb increases where my weight was just going down, 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 which honestly I was okay with because I was just getting peeled and peeled like more and more by the day. So I was like, this actually looks good. And then he saw my photos one day out and just panic loaded me like crazy. And like, I don't know the amount of food because, sorry, I don't know the macros because again, nothing was tracked. But he told me to have, there's about a kilo of uncooked rice. And then he's adding like he wanted me to add like something like 200 grams of fucking peanut butter across the entire day as well. Um, and I'm doing like six of those meals, so there was an additional meal of that added as well. And then on top of all that, I get to like 11 o'clock at night and I can barely eat anything else. My stomach's fucked. I feel like shit. And I'm like, hey, dude, like I've still got another meal left. And he's like, I was like, I don't know if I can do it. And I was like, I'm also super uncomfortable. Like, do you think it's worth it? Um, I was like, I'm only up like 4 pounds from this morning. So, not too bad. Um, and sorry, 4 kilos, not 4 pounds. And then um, he was like, yeah, I want you to have that last meal. He's like, and then after that, I still want you to go and get a burger and fries as well. And I was like, bro, fuck me. And
Yeah.
so
Oh shit.
I had the last meal, which actually I didn't even have the actual meal because I couldn't fucking do it. I had just a bit of like cream of rice. So it was like, yeah, it was like 5 meals of meat and rice, and then 2 meals of like big cream of rice as well. So I actually just had another cream of rice, and then I didn't go get burgers, but I just had like some sushi instead. I was like, I'm gonna feel like shit if I have burgers. And yeah, but I woke up like 15 pounds heavier than the day before, and it was just like soft and not it. It was just spilt, and also the sodium increase from the night before was just like not the right idea. But I was also like,
Yeah, because were you tracking any sodium?
I was doing it myself because none of that, like I said, there was
Yeah.
nothing tracked, no data, everything was just winged.
Yeah.
So I'm tracking sodium, and then I'm like, oh well, fuck, and I'm like, and this is where I had the issue of like me trying to do everything right versus being a coachable good athlete. And I'm like, that's what really made
That's was
everything. That's what
that's
made it so
exactly
hard
what
for
happened to
me.
me and John Jewett. It's exactly the same
Mm.
situation.
And I was just battling with that, and I think that also caused a lot of stress, like just
It's almost
anxiety
like
of
you have to
like,
just like, even though it's wrong, you have to just commit to his way,
Mm.
just to
yeah,
fucking keep your mind at ease as well, and like keep the
yeah,
whole
exactly,
situation at ease, and let that play out, and then go, okay, this didn't work,
Yeah, but
yeah,
instead of
that's
trying to
exactly.
like,
stress.
yeah,
The
mm,
stress of doing the wrong thing raises your
yeah,
cortisol.
It
yeah,
does, man. It does. So yeah, I did that, and then yeah, it was just not a good look. Like I got worse and worse over the day in at the Philippines show, and then I pulled it back a bit for Vietnam. I just ran after that. I was like, cool, I'm doing it myself. Um, and I corrected it a bit for Vietnam the week after, where I just came in. I kept it pretty low and kept it sort of conservative the whole way through, and that brought a better look. It was a lot more, and then actually kept sodium obviously very consistent. And that was a better look. That was probably one of my favorite ones. But but yeah, it still wasn't enough time to like let myself calm down. I was like, because it's just kept getting worse and worse as well after show day. So I was 25 pounds heavier on Sunday morning than I was Friday morning. It was just fucking like, it just kept piling up, and it took me like days to get it off. But then
Yeah. Did
That's
you use
once
any
it came,
diuretics?
hit for the
no,
kidney.
I didn't use any diuretics, thankfully.
No, but just like the water retention is like
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
that
it was
water
bad,
retention.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I yeah, and then I had the issue of like after that show, after Vietnam, I was like, okay, I need to come in like more peeled. I'm gonna have to push it really hard to sort of get back to where I was before all this shit. And the issue there was I noticed that my weight would keep coming down, and but I wasn't getting any like harder. I was just getting smaller. And
Too much
I think it
fatigue.
was that point where I was like, yeah, I just needed to looking back, it's like, yeah, I just needed to not push for the Japan show and actually just push shows back and have time back at maintenance and time to actually chill a bit. But I went to, pushing my body so hard to try and get more peeled and doing, more steps, less food. And I was just getting smaller and softer without actually, and then I'd try and carb up and it wasn't actually like filling out. I'd just get heavier and it was like not quite looking the way it did. I just couldn't quite mimic that look that I had before that first show. But yeah, so that was a bit annoying to deal with. But I think also a big part of it was that like when you do that many shows close together, you're also doing like I mean, I don't know what you guys like to do, but I pull gear out like a bit before that. And so I'm doing like, I'm now sitting here, it's been like fucking 6 weeks on like basically no gear. You're not doing any stimulating training because you're doing like, you're trying to be very reserved in peak weeks. So you're doing back to back peak weeks. I'm like, it's been weeks since I've done any decent training. I had no fucking gear. I'm on the lowest food, doing more cardio. So it's like, of course I'm going to fucking waste away.
Well,
So I think that was a big part of it.
that's why 2 weeks is good because normally what I do, I pump gear back in for a week,
Mm.
smash some training sessions, and then deload again into the show and pull gear
Yeah,
again.
yeah. It would have been so much better. That's why I think Japan was my best look because I had that couple weeks to actually like just chill a little bit, like push and then chill, and then it was okay. But doing the by the Bangkok one, like yeah, my body was just fucked. It wasn't complying with anything.
That sounds exactly like me when I got to Romania.
Yeah, was it?
Happened to me.
Were you just
Yeah.
not able to get a hold of anything over there, or you just chose to keep it out?
No, I chose to. I chose to, and I think because like in that 1 week between, I've always liked to have it out a week early.
Mm.
So I put it back in for that 1 week. But yeah, I kept it low. Like that 1 week, I think I ran like 500 milligrams of injectables, and then like another 300 of statin or something.
Mm.
So yeah, I just think it probably wasn't quite enough to tie me over. And then by the time Bangkok ran around, like finished Japan, and I was like, well, I'm not going to do anything now. Not gonna because I like to keep it out. It's 1 week out, and I was like, well, I don't want to fucking take any pins. I don't want to risk any bad shots. Um, so yeah, I left it out, and I think by then it was like, fuck, I've been on no gear for like or like very very low for like 6 weeks, man, and it was mostly the training as well, like just taking a couple days off after or at least a day off after the show, and then I'm like, well, it's our peak week, so I've got like 3 days worth of training, and then I'll stop training 1 day out again. So it's like, yeah, I think it was just a little bit too many too close together. Mm, at the end of the day, yeah. So if I go again, I'll do a little bit more spaced out, I think.
Yeah. Well, I've got 3 shows planned this year, and they're all like back to back. But I
Yeah,
like it like that.
Are they
I
far?
like the
Is there a lot of travel,
Sorry.
Cam?
Um, it'll be one big travel from Australia to Tampa. I think it's
Yeah.
like 25 hours or something. It's quite a long flight, and then few stopovers. Then it'll be Tampa to Texas, then Texas to Atlanta, and
yeah,
that's all like
cool.
one week after the other. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I
But
think that
I
works
kind of
fine
like it
with
like that. I
yeah,
like it like that because like it's almost like you don't have time to like the adrenaline's still like ticked up from doing the show,
yeah, that's
and
true.
then like you don't really have time to start feeling shit again until you're peaking for the next one. So
Mhm.
it's like it's kind of I like it like that.
Yeah, that's true. I think it works really well if you don't have any issues and you come in like everything's consistent into that first one, it's
Mm,
fucking easy.
Yeah.
It's yeah,
mm,
it's really enjoyable.
It's
That's
how
also
you
why I
set yourself
planned it.
up.
Yeah, that's right. That's why I planned it like that because I was like, I like it too. I like doing them back to back.
Mm.
But yeah, after the first one, it was just running into issues that I didn't expect. Then yeah, I probably should have taken the
Yeah.
time, but that'll be fucking good, man. I'm keen to watch you do that.
Yeah, it's like when you do state shows
Awesome.
here. You know, most of the time SA is like the week before nationals,
Yeah, it's always
Yeah,
that way for
yeah.
you guys, eh?
and then
I
sometimes
remember
Mm.
my first prep, like it was 3 weeks, I think, between the state show and the nationals. And
It
I
was
was peeled
2020,
at the
eh?
stage. No, this was 2019 actually. And
Oh, right.
like I was peeled at the stage show. So then you're like just hanging around for 3 weeks, just dying until you like until you go. So I'm just like,
Yeah,
yeah, it's just
And that's hard as well
mm,
because you don't want to lose it. So you're like, do I eat up a bit and come back down? I'm like, I really want to maintain here. How do I maintain
mm,
that
yeah,
without changing
yeah.
anything?
yeah. If you set up, I think going back to back's a fucking great idea.
Mm.
And then yeah,
Mm,
you get to actually like you said, you just run off adrenaline the whole time, and it's fucking
yeah, yeah.
yeah, it's awesome. It's so cool.
Yeah, the
Well,
week goes fast because you
remember my
basically
first prep that Andrew coached me on, and I entered as figure for the
the one
state.
Cam went pro at.
No,
Oh
no,
yeah,
no. My first show,
Yeah.
no.
I entered as figure, and Tony come backstage. He's like, "You're not figure, you're physique. Kick your heels off and come back on stage."
Mm.
Oh
So then I
Yeah.
had to go from figure to physique, so I just had to strip as much as I could. And
Yeah.
so I was on chicken and beans for
5
three,
meals a day.
yeah, 5 times a day, chicken and beans for 3 weeks, but it worked.
Mm.
But
Is that where you
never,
get your nickname from? Beans?
no,
But that was her first nationals was when you went pro Cam in the convention
yeah,
center.
that's when we met you. You went pro that year.
Yeah, yeah, I remember that.
Was
Yeah.
that 2022?
2022.
Because I
That,
remember
Yeah.
we were all standing in the standing getting tanned at the pro tan tents in I think it was Doherty's we were at. And you were just coming out the tanning booths, and we're all standing there and we're like, fuck, this guy's jacked. Like
Oh,
I can remember that day like it was yesterday, and you literally had shorts on and no top, and Dave and Andrew and I just going, who the fuck is that guy?
mm.
Mhm.
And then wow.
I had no idea what was going on. I was so oblivious.
You
I
were
was just
Dean
like,
still there, weren't you?
yeah, yeah. I was just there to try and win the under 80 class. You know, I wasn't really thinking I was going to win my pro card or anything. So,
It's funny as well because all the physique girls that year, Sarah, Tracy, and her, the top three are all pros now.
yeah.
Yeah,
We
that's cool.
were, yeah, yeah.
That's fucking cool. Yeah, I remember you Cam at I think first time I met you was the posing clinic with fucking Chris Cormier.
Oh, that would have been like 2019 or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
I
yeah, it would
was
have been really early on. Yeah.
yeah. That was I don't think
Yeah.
you'd competed yet. Yeah, I don't think you had. And then obviously Sam Pierce was there that day as well, and I was
Yeah.
coach by
Because
him at
you were
that
with
point.
Sam. Yeah.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, and
Yeah.
then and then he was like he took an interest to you then as well. Even then he was like, "Fuck, you're pretty good." Like, yeah,
Mm.
yeah,
Yeah. I remember that day actually. Yeah. Yeah.
that was good.
Mm.
But yeah, I think that was first time. And then did you do that 2020 show as well? That season A in
No,
February?
no, I did 2019, 2022, and then this year gone 24. So
Right. Okay.
I've only
Yeah.
done like three contest preps really.
Yeah. Because yeah, I prepped for that. I was prepping for the 2020. That was my first one at the season A when we fucking we did the Queensland show, and then there was 4 weeks until nationals. Flew down to Melbourne, and then they called off everything and shut all the borders because that's when COVID first happened.
Yeah.
And I was like, and then I had to fucking rush home before I got trapped.
Did you do that like show that they put on like in was it nah?
No, I wanted to. I was so keen, but I was only junior anyway, and every other junior pulled out knowingly because why the fuck would you travel all the way down there just for that? Just as a junior, and
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I'm not going to bother doing it. I hadn't registered yet. I didn't have any money, so I was like, no way. I'm just
Yeah,
gonna go.
fair.
I remember
So
that
what
COVID.
have you done since then?
2022, 2023.
Okay, cool.
That
Yeah,
was
and
my
then
first.
obviously what's just been
That was my first enhanced prep. That COVID
2023.
because I was like, oh, I'm like maybe I'll go do nationals. I didn't register for it. Lucky I didn't. I just did the state show, and I'm like, nah, I'm not that big. That's when like Dom Matolo and like what's his name? What's that guy that owns the gym in Sydney that flew down to Adelaide? You remember his name, Bob? You remember him? He flew down to Adelaide. He always does like conspiracy posts and stuff on all health stuff.
Nah, that's way
Dan?
fun.
Dan? He owns the gym. He owns the gym. He's of Wales. What's his name? Oh, everyone knows him. He was on
That
the
year that they had it in the shed though, there was like
yeah, he
someone.
was on the podcast, when they had the other Aussie podcast for a while. He was on that. Anyway, he flew down to Adelaide to win the state show. And it was me and some other guys, and I was like last then. I was only like 72 kilos on stage. And I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna do COVID. Then I get home like a week later, I've already fucking blown out because my first prep. And I'm blown out. And I'm sitting there eating one of those big cookies and just watching on the news that they're closing gyms. I'm like, what? I'm just going
Oh,
fat. I need to get this off.
that was oh, dude, that was the worst. Like coming out post show and my first prep, so I'm like depressed as fuck because I'm like just this kid who like had no idea about. I was immature as well, like mentally, and then I come out and it's like, okay, well now I've got no purpose. I had like the worst post show blues, and on
Mm.
top of that, all the gyms are locked down, and I'm like, I literally had nothing to do every day. I was fucked. Yeah, that was the worst post show experience coming out and not being able to do anything.
That was like just the biggest load of bullshit the government ever pulled.
So what did you do post show this time? Have you kind of kept it under wraps since
Yeah,
Bangkok?
this has been the probably the easiest time again. Just running off what I want to do myself now. It's been so much easier. Like, not having to wait for a plan or wait for a fucking something to do that I end up fucking changing anyway. I
Yeah,
just came out of it and kept everything nice and low. Well, basically, what I did was straight after the show, I was like, cool, we're in Bangkok for one more week. There's lots of places we want to go out to eat. So I just basically like calorie banked where I'd have like 1 to 2 meals a day and then we'd go out for dinner. And it was always something clean anyway. Like we never ate shit. And then it was just like going to nice restaurants and stuff. And then got home and just, yeah, kept it around. I kept it pretty low all the way up until last week, actually. I stayed on like 3,500 calories or something over Christmas and everything just to maintain and just let my body chill for a bit. And now that everything's good and health markers are pretty good, I'm just gonna slowly start to increase it. And yeah, I've managed to stay way leaner than I ever have, and I'm already at a really good weight. So I'm happy. It's been much smoother and easier to manage and a lot more tracked now as well. So now that we have the more data, we have more to go off and can make better decisions across the whole off season now as well. And I'll probably stay a bit
yeah,
leaner
cool.
as well.
Mm.
Mm.
Yes, you're gonna
Yeah,
keep coaching yourself.
Yeah. I'm just gonna get. So I have a good friend who you've probably seen, like if I've in some of my posts and stuff I've tagged. His name's Adam. He lives in Bangkok as well. He's really good. He coached his missus to turn pro in wellness in one of the shows that I did, the first one, the Philippines. Um, and he has a few like pro competitors and stuff like that as well. But yeah, he's a good mate of mine. He's really intelligent and likes to basically run everything the same way I do. So we're very, very similar in the way we approach everything. And I was talking to him more at the shows and stuff, and I was like, hey, do you want to just maybe like talk a bit more? Like, I was like, can I sort of like consult with you about what I'm doing, and we can just go back and forth a bit for these shows? And he was like, yeah, absolutely. So I sort of bounced off him for the rest of the shows, and then now that I'm in the off season, I'm still like sort of sending him some photos and talking to him about what I'm doing, and we're just sort of going over stuff together. So he is like a second eye there who is helping me through it. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
do you
nice.
yeah.
have anything planned for the future? Like
So far, I
any?
was saying to Andrew before that I'll either look at doing the same time frame this year. So there's like Malaysia, that's the week before Philippines, like mid-October. There's that one that I'm pretty intrigued by. That's a good one. That's a well-run show. So I'd like to do that, but it also depends. Like, I mean, you know what it's like being in fucking opens. All you guys do, like, and you as well. Like the being in physique, I mean, you just have to keep getting better always. Like it's always getting better. There's no fucking weight cap. I mean, there's a weight cap for you, Cam, but I mean, you're not overly concerned by it from last I spoke to you. I think like you're
No,
still
I'll
having quite
never.
a
I don't
yeah,
think I'll
yeah,
ever get there, to be honest.
yeah. So
I
it's
think
like for us,
I'll
it's
start
just like
looking worse if I get any close to that freaking
yeah.
weight
So
cap.
for us, it's like it's always just getting bigger and better no matter what. Anyway, um, so ultimately, it's like I don't mind too much if I don't compete this year. If I'm growing quite well, then I'll just keep growing. But if I get to a point where I'm like, which I think will come around that like June, July, where I'm like, yeah, it's probably worth me doing a mini cut or something. And if I do that and I'm like, shit, this looks pretty good, let's see it out. I have a good chance at doing well at these shows, then I might just see it out and do it. But yeah, it's going to depend. I'll compete if I think I can. Pretty much, I'll compete if I think I can win, um, or I'll push it back to the start of 2026.
So,
How does it work with doing the overseas shows? Like, will you have to do, let's say, like a season C here before you go overseas and do that?
Yeah, that was what I was. I had an idea, but I was sort of I wasn't 100% positive until after this season, where I was like, I'm pretty sure I'm okay to do them. But so basically, the rules are you have to reside in a country for 4 months minimum before being able to do a regional at that country to qualify for a pro qualifier.
Uh,
So because I lived in Thailand for most this year, sorry, most last year, I was fine to do. When you're in Thailand or Asia, you can do any regional in like any of the Asian countries. So it doesn't have to be just that country. So I did my regional in the Philippines, which was the morning of the pro qualifier. So yeah,
cool. It's good to know.
so yeah, because I lived in Thailand, I was perfectly fine to do the regional in the Philippines, which it wasn't even a regional show. It was all just one show, and they classed the novice categories as the regional.
Yeah,
So
separate
I had to
events,
do
but yeah.
yes. So I had to do novice bodybuilding and then do open super heavyweight.
so with what you
Yeah,
were
and then it
saying
was
about adding mass for a bit, if you're growing well, do you think it's advantageous for people listening if they do a mass cut, if you do add it, to hold that weight for a bit of time before you go into a cut and a prep? Otherwise, you may lose
uh,
some of the tissue you put on.
I actually do usually because if you hold a weight, I mean, it does depend on the individual, obviously, but a lot of the time, if you hold a weight, you start to almost recomp a little bit at that weight,
Mm,
especially if you're not pushing the calories. Like if you're not pushing food, trying to get bigger and bigger, obviously it took you a certain amount of like caloric demand to get to that state, and then once you're there, you're at whatever weight you're happy with. If you're staying on the same calories, you have the same output, everything is pretty much maintained, and you're just like, cool, let's chill here. Especially if the training is continuing to progress, you'll usually find you start to almost recomp
mm.
a little bit at least at that body weight anyway, which is going to be advantageous for next time you decide to pull down anyway. So I actually do like to hold it for a little bit, but
What would you
I
say
don't think
time
it's
frame wise for holding?
um, I think even just like 4-ish weeks, 4 to 6 weeks, I think is pretty good to get a little bit of something out of it. But then yeah, it depends on the individual because some people can get to a weight and just start to feel like shit.
Mm,
And I think that's a big part of it as well. Like if you're still able to maintain training performance and progress and you're still able to eat fine and sleep fine and everything, once any of those start to get impacted, I think it's worth just pulling down. But
mm.
if you're able to be maintain that weight and like feel good still and health markers and everything are okay, then I think it can be worth it staying there. But it's all got to be reverse engineered from how long you need to actually prep anyway. Like sometimes obviously you don't have the luxury to hold a certain weight. If you need 20 fucking weeks to prep and you're at that stage, then it's like, well, you just got to pull down and get into it. But
And
yeah.
say you coming off the mass phase, would you maintain still on the high amount of gear, or would you maintain in the health phase before going into a cut? What would you think is better?
Um
Obviously, it's very
I
individual
actually
based, but
yeah, very individual, I
as a
think.
rule of thumb,
Yeah, personally, for me myself, I actually like doing a little bit of the health phase and maintaining on lower gear, and just keeping the food high and staying on lower gear and keeping GH in. I found that worked quite well for me. I was able to maintain slightly less body weight, like a couple kilos less, but just
yeah.
continue to tighten up. And that gave me a little bit of a break from gear. Again, depends how long you've been on. Like by those points, I've been on for a while and I wanted a break. Um, but with a lot of individuals, what I actually do is I like to keep gear in and just slowly pull down the food once they get to that point where they need to start prep. Where I just do a decent drop to start, and then let that happen for as long as possible.
Mm.
Is just let them tighten up from one initial food drop, and that usually gets them pretty fucking far, to be honest.
What are your thoughts, Cam? How do you coach people? Do you do holding phases or?
Well, it's a bit different for me now with the like shorter timelines. So I don't know. We're only doing like, well, we did like a 2 week holding phase after my push up, and
Yeah.
now we're doing a quick mini cut because like we got a year turnaround. So
But say
it's a bit
for our
different.
viewers, people
Yeah.
watching this podcast, they they don't compete as often as that and that. So they do like a 12 to
Oh,
16 phase,
if they're competing every like
2
18
years.
months,
Yeah,
yeah, I think a good 8 weeks.
yeah.
So that yeah.
And would you, as a health phase, hold like a year?
Yeah.
I a lot of the time I done my health phase before I started this prep last year. I just go cold turkey. I go no gear at all. I drop it all out completely. I go from all of it to nothing, and I just completely chill for like I chilled for like 8 weeks. Yeah, on nothing. I just kept GH in, and I like halved the GH, and I just chilled on that. I took nothing at all. By 4 weeks, the first 4 weeks, you feel fucking incredible. Just having like the reduction in inflammation and oxidative stress, you feel great. But then by week 7, you're like, okay, I'm flat as fuck. Like, can we put this back in now? Yeah.
I crashed within like a week.
Yeah, really.
Yeah. When I first flew to the States for the Olympia trip, it was like 7 days in. I was going over there thinking I'll be all right. 7 days in, I'm like, man, I'm done. I need fucking some tests. So luckily
Yeah.
Well,
we found some. We found some. But
what ester do you guys use in your
I,
contest prep?
I always use Test E. It's all I ever use.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
same. Yeah, I'm
I
the
hate
same.
when people. I hate it when gym people like, they're not even like competitors. They're like, look, I need this, I need that. I'm like, no, you don't. Once it's peaked in your blood, it's all the same.
Yeah.
Like,
I've never used P, so I can't say if I've experienced anything better or not. But I don't really see a need for it. I've peaked everyone on
mm.
E, and they've
To
always
me, it's
been.
frequency that matters more than what ester you use.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah,
if you're pinning weekly with Test E, yeah, you're gonna feel you might get some more side effects or shit by the end of the week because you're so infrequent. You're gonna have so many peaks and troughs. If you're pinning every other day or even every third day, it doesn't make any difference. Depending, unless you're a random weird individual that just the clearance rate is so fast.
The my clearance rate is very
Yeah,
fast.
she clears so fast. Like so,
Ridiculous.
when we're cruising, she'll
And
do like
no, I'm on test D as well.
yeah, we'll do like a Monday, Wednesday, Friday when we're cruising. But then when we're on cycle, we'll do like the same thing, but on Sunday as well. So Sunday, Monday's a back to back day, but I just like having the same pin days. And
Mm.
she'll crash on Sunday when we're cruising after she's
yeah.
pinned Friday.
Right.
She'll crash and need it Monday.
And it's not like I say, it's not it's not a mental crash, like it's a body crash because my and I know because I can feel it within myself. I'm like, yeah, something's definitely not right. And if it goes too long without having a pin, so when we were in Romania, we're pinning, but like by the time we got to Japan and we stopped, we didn't take anything to Japan, and we just went cold turkey. I think it was literally by day 6 or day 7 after pinning, I get period pain like that.
Yeah. Okay.
It, it's
And we loaded up because we're not. Don't want to risk taking shit to Japan because they're way stricter than Romania. 'Cause I didn't even realize Romania you can
Yeah,
actually walk.
you don't want to go to jail in Japan, bro.
Yeah, you can buy shit from the chemist in Romania. You can buy tests from the
Yeah.
chemist. But
Yeah.
so I'm like, I took a gram of test before I left. I might just fuck load up. Gram test, gram of mask, loaded up so it lasted me the whole Japan. But I was still dead by like the 10th day. But
Yeah.
I even
Yeah.
put a lot in her. I put in like way more than what she normally takes. And yeah, still within 6 days, still dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I
just
took
do I just do every day.
Yeah. That's what I've got to start doing,
I
I
do every
reckon.
day. Yeah.
I
I just
just
sit
sick
there
of
and
going through the
load them
needle.
all up at the start of the week, and then I'll just do smaller injections every day because I hate
You
it to
use
start with.
this?
So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I hate doing injections to start with, so I'd rather
Yeah.
just do a little tiny one every day.
That's what I've got to start
Yeah.
doing. But like, man, if me and her doing them, because then you got 2 needles for pinning, then 2 GH at least, so it's 4 needles
Yeah.
a day. we got a big sharp skit in our bathroom, the big one, and it's just sitting there. It fills up like every 3 months. This fucking huge sharp skit. Every time the cleaners come, they close the lid and it's a cunt to open. It's a fuck. Is that?
Yeah, right.
Well,
Yeah,
stop
yeah, yeah.
clipping
You
the
got to
lid
grip them,
down.
eh? Yeah, yeah, yeah. I took fucking. I didn't take oils to Japan, but I took my Stana with me. I took Stana, Clen, T3, T4 to Japan.
Yeah, we took all of that as well because
Yeah,
we
I
had
always take the fat burners.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Well, I just and then I took oils to Philippines and Vietnam, but then I took them and then never fucking took any because I was like, nah, I don't want to take them. But I just had them with me in case. And then I was like, well, I'm not gonna fucking take them to Japan because I'm not even gonna pin while I'm there, so there's no point. No point taking them. But it was also easy. Yeah, in all those Asian countries, it's easy to
Oh,
buy everything over the counter. Well, not so much oils, but it's easy to get like any pharmaceuticals, like all your fat burners. You can get T3, T4 over the counter anyway. So
mm.
that was very easy and so
Thailand,
cheap.
man. The protein shop has a book on the counter. What do you want?
Yeah,
Anabar, fucking Anadrol 50s, GH
yeah,
pens. I'm like, fuck, this is sick. This is my
yeah,
Is
kind of
that in
exactly.
book.
Japan?
No, in Thailand.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. I mean, I bought like I sold out the chemist in Vietnam. I was like, oh, do you have I was like, do you have levothyroxine? And she was like, yeah, yeah. She's like, this one, and I was like, yep, everyone you have. Well, I asked how much they were, and it turned out to be like $3, $4 Australian. And I
Mm.
was like, every one that you have, give me
Yeah.
all of
I'll
them.
take
So
all of it. All of
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. So that
I
was
tell
so
you
good.
what, when I was in Thailand, I was on the farm with GH pens because I was they have the the like UGL more looking stuff, the mixing vials in the chemist, but if you actually go to the proper shop, you got the farmer pens. And I was taking like, I don't know, 4 to 6 OU a day of the farmer stuff plus 4 to 6 OU of the underground shit. So like
Yeah,
10 to 12 OU a day. And I was taking Anadrol 50. I fucking blew up. I was
yeah,
that was at the start of prep. I was on like 2,500 calories and I got there at 114 kilos and I left at 120
yeah.
in a deficit. It's crazy.
What what pens were they?
They're like blue.
Yeah, was it the Tiger ones?
Fuck, I can't remember. There's probably a
that
picture on my
doesn't sound
phone if I go back.
familiar.
If I go back and look, there's probably a picture on my phone.
Because yeah, they do like these blue pens. It's called Tiger, like Farmer, but
No,
it's
I think it was
actually
actually like somatropin or something.
Yeah, Tiger doesn't sound familiar.
yeah, okay. Because Tigers, that's the ones like I was using while I was over there as well. But they actually are like they're pens, but they're just packaged that way. It actually is underground. But they're just packaged in a pen, which I was like, I don't give a fuck because the pen is so handy, man. It's so much better than
Oh,
reconstituting. I was like, I
he's
love
better.
it.
And
Yeah,
the needles are sharper. I don't, like there are different ones entirely, but these are so
dude,
blunt.
right? That's so. I
The
thought that was
screw.
only me. I thought it was only me.
No,
I get back here, I'm like, why can't I fucking pin myself?
yeah,
And I'm like, why does this hurt so much? It's so hard to get in because the whole time I'm over there, I didn't know if it was maybe just because I was on prep, my skin was thinner or
no.
something, but it was going in so easy. And I
All
come
the
back here, I'm
needles
like,
you get
this
here
shit's
from needle
so hard.
depositories are shit. You go to the price
Yeah,
because for the insulin needles, the screw-on needles, you can't get them at the needle depository. You have to go buy them in Priceline.
yeah,
You buy them, man, that lasts the whole life of the pen. Poof, straight in. You do
dude.
like 30 shots of it still sharp.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy, dude. But
Yeah.
I would notice as well in Thailand, like all the needles so much sharper than here. It's super weird. I thought that was only me.
Bodybuilders talking about
Fucking
how
hell.
sharp needles.
Oh my
Wait, so
God.
when did you start your prep for those shows?
Um, I came off at the end of May. I came off everything and ran an 8 week holding phase from then. Um, where I just lowered my calories a bit because my calories were super fucking high in the off season. Like I was sitting at like fucking 7,000, and then
Yeah.
I pulled down to like five or like high fours in and chilled there for 8 weeks from May through to end of July, and then end of July kicked it off back here in Australia, and then yeah, so end of July to end of October was a prep. So yeah, it was like I think it was about 16 weeks.
Yeah, cool. And is like Compton sending you like a meal plan or you just do macros?
He would text me meals to eat for the week. Like it was literally like send a big text message on WhatsApp. It was like meal one, blah blah, meal two, whatever,
Yeah.
meal three before, and
Yeah.
it was just that every week. But yeah, there just wasn't enough check-ins and then attentiveness to seeing like what was actually going on when you do certain things or or anything like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, but that's how that was all run. And like it's so easy for me to get lean at the start. Like all you had to do was lower calories, and I was just doing a little bit of cardio like 4 times a week. I did like a 30-minute walk, and that was it. And I got pretty well. I got the leanest I've been by far. Um, by the first show, by doing fuck all, just keeping stress really low, and that was super easy. But then after that, when I had to push myself, yeah, I found that like if I have to push myself, my body just shits itself. If I like
Yeah.
if I have to dig, my body will just shit itself. But if I like give myself a bit of time and I just chill on a little bit of a deficit, do some cardio like 4 or 5 times a week, like half an hour or something, I can just stay there and I'll just keep getting leaner and leaner and really not have any
Yeah.
issues. So
Are you
that was
like tracking daily output, like steps, or are you just doing
nothing.
like cardio? Yeah. Cool.
Literally nothing. It was literally just like chill. My steps are super low. Like what fucking. I mean, you don't know Ken because you actually work hard at things, but but like being a fucking coach,
I used to.
yeah. But yeah, being a coach, like literally just sit at the fucking computer all day. I do like 3,000-4,000 steps a day.
Yeah.
And then I just do cardio like 4 times a week, and that plus like just under 3,000 calories was enough with the fat burners just to get me exactly where I needed to. But yeah, there's a few bad calls in the middle of the prep as well that I ended up like where I started to like mistrust things because there were certain things that would happen like just for example, one time I had some like tomatoes, onions, stuff like that in the breakfast one day, and it like fucked up my stomach. It was like a bit too much acidity for my stomach, and I got like some bad digestion problems that day. Whenever I have digestion issues as well, I just hold water like a motherfucker. So I had that
Yeah.
happen, and then I flew down to Melbourne for nationals for the Scotty, and I put on like I blew up like almost 10 kilos just from that flight with the digestion problem. And then I explained all of that, and I was like, "Look, man, it's just that. Give me like a day or so; it's all going to come off." And he was like, "No, no, we need to push you harder now." And I was like, "Previous to this day, I was like, dude, I was losing like a pound a day on the food that we're on. We definitely don't need to push harder. Like I'm coming down fast." And then he wanted to push me a lot harder, and I was like, "Well, I'm not going to do that." So I that was one time where I was like, "No, I'm doing my own around this." So then a couple of days I did my own planning around it. Actually had a little bit of a refeed, and then leaned up. All the water dropped off, and he was like, "Yeah, okay, cool. This worked well. We need to refeed you now." And I'm like, "Dude, fuck me." So it's just like there was just calls where I was like, "This was not the right idea," and I think it's just a matter of having too many people, and also just I don't know, maybe not being a person who likes to track everything.
Yeah.
Like that sort of old school method, and it's just not really the type of way I like to do things, I guess.
The GH pen was Somagen Aqua
Yeah,
45,
right. I haven't heard of it.
45 IU pen.
Only
Oh,
took
the
You've been
45
holding
I
on.
use.
You've been
time,
holding
right?
on to that the whole time.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
God.
What did you say? It's 45 IU.
45 IU pen.
Yeah, okay. Fuck. I need to try
The Anadrol 50 is a killer.
it. They're good.
Yeah. So like,
Good
what, leading
website.
into your peak week and stuff,
Yeah,
you wouldn't have had like any data like this amount of carbohydrates fills you up and like that, it's just whatever.
bro. Literally
Yeah.
nothing. Not a thing. It was literally just
Yeah.
the whole
You'd
thing
only
was
have
the whole thing
tracked
was winged.
you'd only have tracked the text messages sent. Like you could go back and recalculate it if you really wanted to, but let's be honest, that's probably not worth
But
it.
is it like something that he's not tracking, or
Yeah,
is he just is that just his communication style? He just sends you the text messages, but he's actually in the background. He's tracking what's going on, or
That's a good point, and that's something that
yeah,
I had considered as well.
yeah.
But there was too many times where he would continuously ask me things that he's already asked me, or get
Or he should know.
or get wrong that I had already like corrected before.
Yeah,
Like
okay.
something around like him, like me, for example, like didn't even remember the fucking shows that I was doing. And
Yeah,
like
okay, cool.
like and
Yeah,
That's a
that's a
red
bit of a
flag.
problem, man. That's a bit of
and
a
then
problem. How many weeks out are we, bro? I don't know, man. Shit.
yeah, like so he remembered the first one, but then he didn't remember that we were planning on all these others. So like that wasn't the best. But then yeah, it was. I also was like that he can't be tracking. I mean, he might have tracked what we had done, but there's nothing to compare that to because there was no like have a refeed and check in the next day. I'm like,
Yeah,
you
let's see what it
actually
looks like. Let's see what it
because
does.
yeah, so that never happened. So I was like, you actually have no idea what this amount of food does. You're just giving me random amounts of food. So it'd be like, yeah, let's have a refeed. Let's do 500 grams of carbs. And I was like, okay, cool. I'll put that in, and then I would do that, and then it's just like, yeah, check back in 4 days time, and I would do that, and he's like, oh yeah, you're probably due for another refeed. So let's have one then, and certain things happen on prep, so you have weight fluctuations one day or another, or sometimes it can alter, and if any time because there was no like daily weights or averages or any of that tracked like what the weight's actually doing on a daily basis. Anytime the weight was like not down, it was like push harder. Like anytime
Yeah, okay.
it might have been down the whole week, and then on one check-in day, it's just slightly up. And that honestly happened quite a bit because I used to get a bit anxious about the check-in because I'd be
Yeah.
like, fuck, I hope because I know I'm like, if I'm not better, he's going to push me harder. And I'm like, fuck, like and I'd get a little bit anxious and my weight would go up a little bit. He'd be like, weight's up, we need to go harder. And I'm like, fuck, dude,
Yeah.
like, and I'd try and message and be like, it's all like, it's been going down like the whole week, I swear.
But you
And
can't just
Yeah, like we
can't
have
just base
trends
it
as
on a
well.
weight. Like it's not a weighted like within reason. It's not a weighted sport. It's a visual
Yeah,
sport. Like that's
yeah,
what
yeah,
a
as
lot of it was
coach
based
is
on weight,
hard.
where a
yeah,
lot of it was based on weight, where if I went down in weight too fast for like any anything, it was always just like refeed. So we got to a point where like he was pushing me hard and then just refeeding me like every 2 days. And then he'd panic load me and I'd like spill in the middle of a prep. And then he'd push me even harder now because I'd spilt and I was fucking just doing this. And then he'd push me really hard and I'd come down and be like, shit, you came down a lot in a couple of days. We're going to refeed again. I'd refeed, my weight would hold and I'd look better, obviously. And then he'd be like, oh, you need even more. And then he'd just like refeed me really fucking hard and I'd spill again. And then but he didn't check in for another 4 days after that. So I would spill and then it would sort of level out by the time check-in would come again. And then, yeah, it was
yeah,
really weird. There's also no like,
yeah,
there's also like, I mean, in peak week, you want to be checking in like every day, or at least in the last couple of days. Like, I don't know about you guys, but I'm checking with my clients every fucking meal in the last couple of days. And there was none of that where it was just like one day out, it's like, yeah, have this today. And you'll see what you look like in the morning. And I'm like, fuck, like, all right,
Yeah.
like, okay, it's just roll with this and whatever happens, happens. It's like, shit, man. Like,
yeah,
That's like me. It was all good. Like John's a good coach, killer perfect. But like, as soon as it came to his Olympia prep, that was the priority. So he was
yeah,
always asleep when I needed him. Is
that was the other thing too. I got my check-in responded to at like 5 p.m. one day out. And I was like, bro, it's one day out.
yeah,
Like, but I also, at that point, that was the week after Philippines where I was already doing it all myself anyway. So
mm,
I still sent it to him. I was still sending him check-ins that week, but then I was just doing the plan. And then he just never messaged me again anyway. I never even said like, hey man, I'm gonna continue by myself. Just he was like after the show, he was like, I sent him the message, like showed him like, oh, I got third here. Here's some stage shots. Um, and then he's like, he's like, yeah, okay, cool, whatever. And yeah, just never spoke to me again, never messaged me again or anything. That was it, just done.
cold turkey.
Yeah, and I
He'll
was like,
probably use those stage shots on his
yeah.
website.
yeah, well, he actually said to me, he's like, oh, send me some professional ones when they come through.
Yeah,
Like, send me the proper stage shots. And I was like, yeah, we'll do. And that was the last message that was sent.
yeah,
Yeah. So I was like, and that's why another reason I was like, I know you forgot that we were meant to do other shows because you
yeah.
never checked it again or anything. So yeah, I was like, I just
Yeah,
like,
with the whole weight thing, like because we track average over the week with my
of
weight
course, yeah,
in contest, in contest prep and off season, and
yeah,
like
yeah,
my
same.
weight will like I'll train legs and then my weight will jump up like 2 kilos and then it'll hold there for like 3 days and then
Yeah.
it'll dip off. But like, yeah, if I was going off a day, like just on a check-in weight or something like that, it's like, yeah,
Yeah, that's right.
you'd
What
be like,
happens
oh,
if
what's
you?
going on here? You haven't lost weight. You've gone up. Push
Yeah,
it harder. So yeah,
That's one thing I
that's
love about the
exactly what it was like.
apps
Yeah,
because I can even go
yeah,
back, like, and be like, even though sometimes I'll look back over the week before, and I'll be like, oh yeah, you lost weight on this day, and I'll look back about what happened last week again, and you
your
just click
weight set.
back and you go even look at the last week,
yeah,
and I can look back at
yeah,
fucking 30 days of their weight trends.
yeah. So I could like see it. I even like knew my own, like I know my own trend of what my body does now,
Mm.
like even in the off season and stuff. So like it creates less stress as well when you know what the response is. Kind of like if like because if my weight went up in prep, but I didn't know why, like you just cause more stress, and then that would like inhibit you from losing weight again. Like,
Yeah, you're like, oh, leg day,
yeah,
tons of information.
yeah, like yeah, I know, like I already know what's coming, so
Yeah,
like it's you don't stress about it.
and
So
even like,
does
yeah,
Dean do? Does Dean have you on an app?
Yeah, we run off Kahunas. Well, he
Yeah,
runs
you're
his
on
business on
Aquinas as
Kahunas.
well.
Yeah,
that's
Yeah,
yeah,
so good that app.
so
Kahunas is
easy.
yeah, and then like it would be like track your day, whatever you did for the day, steps and like um macros and all that sort of jazz, and what you trained as well. So like everything for that day is just so
yes,
you can look back
and
and go,
the
oh
app
fuck,
actually
okay,
connects with all your fitness stuff now. Google Health, Samsung Health, and all that.
yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
it's literally like what I do in the off season now as well. Like now, actually having all that stuff tracked in the off season, it's like
Mm,
fuck, I'm tracking shit more now than what I did during the whole fucking prep. So that whole prep was just
mm.
literally all of them were just me trying to wing it based off what I have done and just and guess. Yeah,
I love numbers. I love looking at data.
yeah, yeah. Well, it's
Mm.
fucking important. Like, I mean, you'll know what it's like from being with Dean for so long, Cam now as well. Like when you have, especially over a long period, like all the numbers, like you can really go back and be like, I fucking know how all this shit's gonna work with you.
But
Yeah,
also,
I don't think Dean even has to fucking think about how to pick me for a show. To be honest,
you
I
Yeah,
think
also
he already knows.
yeah,
it's good like that.
Mm.
But you also got like that, especially the amateur clients more so as their muscle mass increases. You also got to go to
yeah,
the data, but you also got to allow for some differences because you're like, okay, well, you're a different person now.
Yeah,
It's not always gonna be 100% the same. You can never
yeah.
replicate
No,
yeah,
100%.
never 100%, never 100%. But there's a lot of like, yeah, just fundamentals that it's like, um, that person will stick to the across the course of, I mean, their whole fucking career. But yeah, like the at least every prep having data from the start and yeah, tracking daily steps, um daily weights, even things like blood glucose daily and stuff like that can be fucking so helpful, man. But yeah, just I feel better now, even doing all that for myself and having all that already. It already feels better.
Yeah, well, peace of mind's a big factor in how your body works.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. And I think that's what went sort of all over the shot as well after that first show because I was so chill coming into that first show because I was like, man, this is the best I've ever looked by far. I was like, I'm doing barely any cardio. The last 3 weeks, I did no cardio at all. And I was like, all I did was walk to the gym, and I was like, that was it. And then I was like, I'm eating plenty of food, like everything feels great. So stress was so fucking low, and then yeah, just stress was so high after the first one because I'm like trying to fucking correct it and then fill up and still look good and just trying to deal with everything. But it felt so much better though, like prepping myself, like that was less stressful, knowing what I had to do every day, but
Mm,
also just having to push myself down was a lot more stressful. Mm.
mm.
But yeah,
Another thing, we've all done shows overseas. So, what's something we can, if the people watching want to ever compete overseas, what's some bit of advice we can give them?
oh, dead set. It's have experience competing before. I don't give a fuck if you're wanting to go over there and you literally have no idea how a show goes. You're gonna have a fuck of a time. You need to be a self-sufficient athlete. Like you need to be independent and be able to like map everything out, be organized. You need to be like someone who's fucking pedantic and knows where they need to go, what they need to do, where they need to be, know where all the supermarkets are, know where the pharmacies are, know where, plan your shit out like that. There's a lot of planning that goes into it that's going to save you a lot of stress when you get to a certain place. If you just book a random fucking Airbnb, rock up, and then get there and have no idea where to go, how to do anything, then you're going to have a very stressful time.
Mm.
But yeah, pre-plan everything beforehand and know when you got to get your tans, where it is, all that stuff. Because I know about you guys with the shows that you did, but in Asia, there's no like, well, the shows I did at least, there's no like telling you where the tans are or when they are. You got to like sort of follow the crowd, and you got to. Usually, you're just getting them at Regos, or sometimes you get to Rego and they tell you to go to another place to get them. Then, so you just got to sort of wing it, but you got to be prepared and understand how the running order of shows go to be able to adapt to how it's going to turn out and how it's going to play out on the day. Yeah.
But you can, what's your advice?
Yeah, just get there like in any country. I'd be there a week early
Yeah.
so you can get yourself settled. Yeah, and just be super organized. If it means you have to just you go in there to check in and you don't know exactly what's going to happen, just pack a whole day's worth of food.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just
Take your fucking
regardless.
food everywhere, dude.
Oh,
Yeah.
So yeah, I think
I
you
hate
might have
not
run into
trust.
some trouble. You might
Yeah.
have run into some troubles like that. Hey,
Yeah. Like I was
yeah.
all right, but yeah, yeah, you can definitely get caught out, especially because the traffic in Asia. You can fuck you. You're like, okay, cool. It doesn't take long to go here and go back, but traffic can be crazy sometimes, and then you're caught in. Takes you an hour to get a couple kilometers, and then you're behind on your meals and stuff like that. So yeah, that's a good one. Is take your meals everywhere you go. But that's why I left the registration at Bangkok, because I was there for hours. I was like, it's just registration. I'm not even going to take a meal. I'm just going to go in, mark my name off, and come home. Um, I literally had to leave because after a few hours, I was like, I gotta eat. I was like, I'm going home. But
That's where
yeah,
Japan's good. Walk into a 7-Eleven, vacuum sealed chicken breast,
yeah,
smash it, fucking done, mate. See you
yeah,
later.
yeah, yeah. It was everything. What about you?
Oh, I'd probably say don't do an Asian country. If
Yeah.
you for your first
Yeah,
one,
well,
But
if
your
you're
Yeah,
gonna
first
go
the
one,
language
overseas,
barrier would make
yeah,
it tough.
yeah,
go to somewhere that
yeah,
speaks English first.
yeah.
So,
yeah,
I
yeah.
reckon.
If you're not, if you don't know, like, and also like, it wasn't too bad for me because again, I'd spent the year in an Asian country already, so I already like had a good idea of how everything
Mm.
was going to go. We'd already traveled to Vietnam and stuff before, um, so we had plenty of experience in Asian countries, and we had all the apps, we had all the money apps as well, all the transportation apps. Like I knew how to do everything in these countries already, so it wasn't hard. But yeah, if you're not experienced with traveling as well, it'll be a tough one to compete in.
Yeah, like if, it actually helped if you've traveled, even if you've gone on holiday places, it's helped. But if you're someone
Yeah,
that's leaving Australia for the first time,
yeah,
you better make sure you get in this country and
yeah.
get your shit together because you just be like overwhelmed.
You will. That's right. Yeah, but there's not a lot of options for people, hey, who want to do more English speaking countries. If
Well, most European countries are English as
yeah,
well.
but there's not that many European shows, is there, for amateurs?
Oh yeah, well, that's true. You got
You
what do
only
you
have
got? You got the
you only have
amateur
the
road
amateur
in
Olympias, which
West.
is
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah. You have to do
there's
amateur Olympiad.
Portugal. There's like I think there's Portugal and then Eastern Europe, wherever that one is, and then it might be I think there's a Spain one or something as well.
Most
But yeah,
Americans are pro qualifiers.
yeah, but you can't do them. You're only allowed to do the Arnold or the Olympia.
No, you can do like Toronto Pro, the amateur Toronto and that. If you've done
That's
your state,
Toronto. It's different. Canada's different to America.
yeah,
Yeah,
Toronto,
yeah, you can't do
Toronto,
America.
Toronto, you can. Toronto and Vancouver, you can.
Yeah, 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 yeah. That makes sense. That's cool.
Yeah,
That's a good one. But yeah, with America because they have obviously the USA's, North Americans,
yeah.
and then the nationals at the end of the year, the NPC nationals. Yeah, you're not allowed to do
Can't do
them
it.
because it's not NPC worldwide. It's just NPC,
Yeah.
which
Mhm.
is yeah, American
Oh,
citizens
okay.
only.
That's one good thing
Yeah.
about the amateur Olympia is everyone from season B can do that.
Yes. Yeah. I think amateur Olympia is a good option. I think any of the amateur Olympias are probably the best options for people because they're going to be actually well run. So that
Yeah.
was the thing with these Asian shows is they were so fucking bad, dude. And like everything was so badly run except for the Japan Amateur Olympia because
Yeah.
it's a large production. It's going to be done. It's going to be
Japan's
done well.
also Japan's not what they don't fuck around.
No, no, that's right. So that was such a good show, and I imagine that most of the amateur Olympias are going to be held to that degree.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude. Oh, fucking Philippines, man, was like they used this random hall there was they used random tanning people. Like it was, I don't even know the company, but they didn't know what they were doing. Um, they they made us get there. Bro, show was meant to start at 8. They made us get there at 3 a.m. for tans. And this was, when I was up there, I was still up at fucking 12. I was still up at midnight trying to fucking eat all this fucking food. And then, made us get up at 3 a.m. for tans. So I got there. And then obviously there was fucking only a couple other people there. We got tanned. And it was like 4 o'clock. I'm like, why the fuck am I still here? I went back to the hotel. I got back at like 7:30. Show didn't even start till fucking 9:30. Meant to start at 8. And then there's no like MC. There was no person like, how like Tony would MC for a little bit, or he would also come back and do that little athletes meeting for everyone. It was none of that shit. It's like chilling, like, why the fuck is the show not started? And then someone comes barging through just like, bodybuilding, you're on right now, get the fuck out there. We're like, what the fuck, man? So there's no timelines, there's no schedules, there's no like, this is what time you're on. There's none of that. It's literally just rock up and you got to fucking play it by ear. So it's like you just got to be where they tell you. But yeah.
How are the USA shows run, Cam? Did you find you like them, the tampering? Because you're obviously doing them again. You
Oh
obviously
yeah, they'll run. Yeah, they'll run very well. Yeah,
Well, there
everything.
was pro shows.
yeah.
Yeah, I was just about to ask you, did any of those shows have a pro show attached to them? Because
Yeah, they
the
did
pro
actually.
shows in America, they were run very well. Everything was pretty seamless, and like Texas was run like a fucking production. Like it was pretty wild. Texas was really cool.
That's good, man. That's
List.
fucking cool.
I told her next year
On the list.
to do
Oh,
Chicago,
yeah,
Texas, because that's a pretty good string.
Yeah,
yeah. I recommend anyone to do Texas. Like that was just ran so well.
She's obviously also limited with physique, women's physique. She's
Yeah.
either basically doing America or Europe.
Yeah, did they? I'm pretty sure physique they did like really big prize money at Texas too
Yeah.
this year.
Mm.
Yeah, they've
Yeah,
just
yeah,
boosted it again next year.
yeah.
Yeah, well.
Is it Sarah Villegas? She sponsors that one, maybe I think.
Yeah,
But
so one of them. I thought,
yeah,
is it Texas?
yeah. But I'm pretty sure they had a massive
Yeah, I think
trophy and big
Oh,
prize money there.
she's definitely
Yeah.
gonna want to do it.
Yeah,
She loves Sarah.
What's the one that's happening pretty soon
America's
as well?
just a bit-
That's got like, oh, sorry, you go.
No, you go.
I was just gonna say, what's the other one that's happening like fairly soonish as well? That's got like 100K prize money for bodybuilding.
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh, that's the one. Yeah.
Yeah, you got Arnold.
Pittsburgh
Arnold will be paying big money. Pittsburgh. And I think Dubai is paying big money as
Yeah,
well.
there's 4 shows over 100 grand now. You got Olympia, Arnold's, Dubai, and Pittsburgh.
Yeah, that's cool.
So New York Pro is going to be up in there soon for sure.
They'll have to, yeah.
Because Pittsburgh, remember, that's only men's open this year. That was originally just a guest
Yeah.
post. So
Yeah.
it's come in with bodybuilding with the biggest prize in America, other than the main shows.
The
Well,
first
does
start of the year
Pittsburgh
with
have
bodybuilding
women's
is going to be
physique?
very exciting.
Yeah.
Mm.
This Arnold's going to be
yeah.
sick.
Yeah.
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 Well, like Arnold's is going to be sick, Pittsburgh, and then like a week after is New York. Like it's going to be like real exciting for the first start of the year.
Yeah, because you
Are
got
you guys going?
Regan's doing New York.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
right.
competed in a while. And Nick Walker's not doing New York, he said at the stage.
Isn't Nick doing Arnold?
Yeah, no, he's doing Pittsburgh with Martin.
Oh, he's in Pittsburgh, right, yeah.
And I don't know who's going to. You got Detroit in there as well with Fuad show.
Yeah.
I'd love to do that one day. I'd love to do Detroit.
Detroit would be good.
Well, when they bring in 212,
Yeah.
they don't have 212 yet, I don't think.
No, they're only doing classic this year. They're adding.
Classic and open, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, do they have women's physique at Pittsburgh then?
I think so.
I think they'll have everything there. Oh no.
Yeah, I think yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be another good one as well.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's the other string she could do. It's not as good as the Pittsburgh and New York Pro.
It's just going to come down to timing.
Yeah, as always.
All it is after this, I can't say after, once we start this push phase, when we get home, we'll just reassess in 9 months.
Because you guys are in Melbourne still, yeah?
Yeah, we leave tomorrow. Yeah.
How's it been down there?
It's been good, but I want to go home now. I'm over it. Like,
So you've been training at Mike's new gym?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it really good?
There's no lighting and stuff in there yet. Like, you can't feel it I can't give it a review.
Oh, is it
Yeah, because it's just soft open at
still?
the moment.
Ah, okay, yeah,
Yeah, she
okay,
trained with
Yeah.
Tracy there yesterday, a couple of days
yeah.
ago.
I've seen that. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be a
It's
killer
going
gym.
to, it has the potential to be pretty bloody good.
Mm.
It really
Yeah.
does. It's just got this, the size is great, the layout's great. Everything is just, it's good. He just needs a bit more time. Some of the machines in there are ridiculous.
Mm.
Yeah.
What brand of the is the equipment?
Oh,
New
everything.
check, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, a lot of new tech. I think he's got
Uh,
different
Ah, he's
brands.
got some Panada in there too.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of new tech though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay.
I
There's a
love.
new powerhouse opening up here on Monday.
Is there?
Oh,
Yeah. In Garden City. Yeah,
Oh,
Macrobat
right.
Gene.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
They've got a lot of Panada equipment there, and got
Yeah.
a new like a container of Watson stuff coming as well. So
There's
All
heaps
right.
of watts of equipment at the
yeah.
Darren Sport Melbourne.
Mm.
Well, are they actually going to open it as a destination gym, or are they going to put it in a fucking shopping center again?
It's in a shopping center, but I think it's very different to
Yeah, okay.
like the other one.
To
Yeah,
Stafford. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. That
yeah.
one is bad, bro. There's nothing worse than trying to train after walking to a fucking shopping center. You like training
Oh
in a
no,
gym.
like the entrance is from the car park. You don't have to go anywhere near the shops.
What,
Oh,
what,
that's
what-
all right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
what's the one we
That's all right.
went
Yeah.
to, Bub, with Nationals and where check-ins was? What world gym was that? They're so small, world gyms.
What Underwood?
Is it Underwood? Where it's
No,
like
Underwood's
next to
massive.
the go-kart or laser skirmish or whatever.
there's like a laser
There's like a
skirmish.
laser skirmish right
I thought
there.
it started with a P.
In Queensland?
Yeah.
Yeah,
For what? For nationals?
Yeah,
yeah.
when it was in Brisbane last.
Where
That
did
would
you
have
stay?
been
What suburb did you stay in?
Well, we were staying at
We
like
were in Kangaroo Point.
Kangaroo Point.
You might have gone to Macrobat.
Mm.
No, that wasn't it.
But
yeah.
they're so
That's
small. It was so small.
Vancouver. That one's
But we
pretty
had to
small.
drive a fair way to Rego.
Rego was in Underwood. Rego's always at the Underwood, but the Underwood
Yeah.
one's pretty big.
See,
Yeah.
it's Jeremy's gyms, that's tiny.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
okay.
Yeah.
Well, it might have been. Yeah,
Jeremy gyms are
actually,
like, they were like what Windsor Gardens at the moment is like 5,000 square meters. Elizabeth's going to be like 8, and when Windsor's finished expansion, it's 9,000, like 9,000 square meters.
fucking hell. Yeah, I've never been to any of them. But I tell you, actually, what was really good in Melbourne was the powerhouse down there. That was fucking good.
being there.
Yeah, that's one of the best gyms I've ever been to.
Yeah, same. Yeah, 100%
Yeah,
one of the best. Probably, fuck, it might even be the best gym I've been to. It's up there. It's
yeah.
right up there for sure. Have you guys not been? You should check
Uh,
it out for
I
sure.
don't think we've
Yeah,
been there.
yeah, you should check it out before you go. It's
Yeah,
really fucking
Bayswater.
good. Yeah, Bayswater. That's it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
yeah.
just once I got the machines, I'm like, okay, I'm doing this is my machine for leg extension, creature of
Yeah,
habit.
yeah, yeah.
I
That's
want to
sweet.
get
Yeah,
home. We've been like, because obviously, like you, Thailand, like from nationals went home a little bit. Then we went to Romania. Then we went to Japan. Then we came
right.
home for a little bit. Then we came to Melbourne. I'm like, I just want to get fucking home. I just want to see my dog,
Yeah,
get back. I feel so like unstructured. Like I'm sick of having even just meal prep companies. Like we had the money for it, well, because she went pro and all that stuff. I just want to eat my home cooked meals, so I want everything back on track, like 100% regulated. I want to eat my meals, everything. I just want everything to the T.
yeah. You do feel a little unstructured. Hey, like we're only just settling now as well because yeah, we've been gone since nationals, like nationals in Australia, and then we went straight to Bangkok, and then we're doing all the traveling as well. And we got home, and as soon as we got home in December, we're down in New South Wales for to see the Mrs. family for Christmas, and then yeah, we only just got back sort of last weekend, and we're just settling in now as well. So yeah, we 100%. It's like it's nice to be a bit more feel scheduled again.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you know what it's like, Cam. Yeah, all of us know, like you do 1 week of a bait, and then okay, this is my base now. This is my base. And then
Yeah,
every
Yeah,
week, like I'm making a progression. It has to be that machine, this order. You know your
yeah,
volume.
yeah,
Everything's you're going to bed at this time in this bed. Because you can be so like meticulous of everything. You go, oh, I didn't progress with that. I did have a bit of a bad sleep yesterday, but all the other variables are, what's going on.
yeah.
You load that. You're like, hey, I'm not recovering. It's been 4 weeks. I'm probably doing too much volume. The back's not progressing like I want to. I'm going to pull a set somewhere because you've got so much
Mm.
standardization. You know exactly where to change stuff. Whereas when you're traveling, you're gonna, you might be like, oh, I'm on a train to there. I'm on a plane to there. I only could eat that this day. I had to have a bit different, meal spacings that day. You can't know where your body's at.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, like even this Christmas period, like school holidays, has been interesting for me. Like because I'm training at all different times of the day now. Like sometimes I'm training at night, and like it's just all not that everything still gets done
Yeah.
regardless, but it's just not in the order that you're used to, and it
Yeah, that's right.
throws you
It's
off.
still
It throws
different.
you off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. It's still different, man. Especially if like, you got to train one time in the evening and then you're like,
Mm.
oh, okay, based on tomorrow's schedule, I have to train in the morning. And then you're like,
Mm.
oh,
Yeah.
fuck, man, like
Yeah.
I've not had enough rest to be able to go from a fucking back day to a leg day after after
Yeah.
just getting home and sleeping.
Especially if your evening workout's leg day, so you're like, I'm loading up on the pre. Then you come home, your sleep's a bit rattled. Then you wake up and you're doing a heavy back session. You're like, fuck, I'm not ready for this.
Your
Yeah.
sleep is never rattled. You always sleep. You never have a problem sleeping.
Yeah, I'm always like, oh, I thought I'd dog shit, babe. And then she's like, how was your session after the gym? I'm like, fucking PBs.
Every time.
I
So
can, caffeine
when
does nothing for
tricep
me.
surgery, that'll be different.
I can have pre-workout and go to bed. Because of
Yeah.
my ADD, caffeine just does nothing to me.
Yeah, I'm the same.
Yeah, I
It
can't.
doesn't do
I
much.
just run no, I have to run non-stim
No.
in the afternoons. Yeah.
Do you know why? It's because you're dark skin, same as her. It's
Mhm.
actually in literature, dark skin people have more caffeine tolerance.
Oh, probably. I wouldn't know that, but yeah,
It's
could be.
actually true.
Yeah.
It's actually a real
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, right.
Um,
No, I'll
one thing,
definitely notice it. Yeah.
yeah, one thing that I don't like is we've been doing it a little bit here because we have to be home for the dog's meds all the time at 3, so we have to sort of do a lot of things in the morning. But I fucking hate having my pre-workout first meal of the day. I love having breakfast. Has to be breakfast for me.
Mm.
It's a bit more fat. I love my eggs. Like
Yeah,
it's a bit
yeah,
fattier. And
yeah.
it's a bit more of a heavier meal. That always gets me on for the day. When I have like a fast digested meal in the morning and go train, I don't like that. I just that. It has to at least be meal 2 for me pre-gym.
Yeah, okay. I I know that I have to do train after meal one because otherwise my day just gets pushed back so far and I end up like not starting any work till fucking 5 p.m. or
Mm.
something, and then I'm like up late as shit, still trying to get everything done if I don't just get it out of the way first thing in the morning. But also I get the longer the day goes on, the more lethargic I feel. But I do miss not being able to have a nice big meal of eggs and shit every morning. I'm like, I'm the same. I'm like, I would love to wake up and have eggs and stuff, but I'm like, yeah, I do it every rest day still. Every rest day, I'm like,
But
fucking
I
big
like
egg meal.
I like going to the gym knowing okay because obviously I do my morning cardio, breakfast. Then I get a good 3 hour window. I get a huge production block in where I'm like I've been so productive. I go to the gym on a high.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah,
Pre-gym
that's a
meal,
good.
like, yeah, I've done that. I've done a bit of the clients. That sort of sent that email off. I can hear back from that this afternoon. And then I can go dark. And then after the gym, I still got a 3 hour block before office hours close where I can do another bit of work.
Yeah, that's good. I actually feel that like I really struggle to like focus and work until I've been to the gym because I feel like I'm just thinking about the gym still. I feel like, yeah, I feel like I'm like just waiting to go to the gym where I'm like, oh, I'm just passing time. Like I'm just waiting to this next meal so I can then go and train. So I find it so much easier to wake up, like just pretty much straight away start getting ready, eat and go.
I
Yes.
wreck myself too much at the gym. I'm after the gym, I'm nowhere near as productive.
Nah,
Oh,
I'm like Aiden.
Mm.
I
yeah.
get up, cardio, eat my
Gym.
first meal, and I want to be at the gym.
Mm,
Yeah.
I wonder if
yeah.
that's because you're used to working nights, but from hospitality.
I don't know. I like just
Yeah.
some days it's okay to have 2 meals under my belt and train, but I like just having one meal and then that's it. And just go train.
Yeah,
I know.
that's another thing as well. Because when your food gets really fucking high, like I don't
Yeah.
want to be heavy when I'm training. So it's so
Nah,
much nicer just to train after one meal, where
one
I'm like I
meal.
still feel nice and light. Yeah,
Mm.
But you can. What's your preference?
Oh yeah, get up, one meal off the gym. 10. I like to train 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
yeah. I'm about 10 o'clock as well. Yeah,
See, 10 o'clock for me is after meal too. Because
yeah, that's fair.
working construction, no matter what, I'm up at like
Yeah,
6. I'm eating like 7
Yeah,
o'clock. And
yeah,
it's good because she wakes up later than me. I've done my cardio, a block of work. She wakes up to have her meal 1, which is actually my meal 2.
yeah,
yeah.
So we
It's
eat
almost
to the
like
gym at the same time.
Since I've stopped working, I'm like rebelling against it.
yeah.
So like I've been up at 5:30 my whole life. I'm like, nah, fuck
Yeah,
that.
like fuck this, I'm sleeping.
I try to sleep in, but the longest I can sleep in is like 6:30.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no. I woke up at 10:15 today. It's my rest day.
I've never,
Whoa.
I can't sleep in like that, so I won't.
But what time did you go to bed the night like last night?
Yeah, I went to bed at like 12:30.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Yeah, I go to bed. So every night I go to bed at midnight, and then I'm up at like 9. It's like wake up, and I'm like that from Thailand. That's fucking Thailand's fault, 100%. Like you get in such a routine there where you have literally nothing to do every day other than train. So it's like you just wake up whenever the fuck you wake up. I didn't set an alarm for 6 months. I just wake up when I wake up, and then go to the gym, and then you're like, it's such an easy fucking lifestyle. But like that's why I fucking enjoy it so much. And yeah, I just got used to waking up so late now. If I don't, when I know it's a rest day, I end up just waking up so late.
Mm.
But you
I
still
wish I-
manage to get all your meals in though.
Yeah, because I eat my last meal like 11 o'clock.
Mm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm
You
eating.
make
Yeah.
my
I'm
last
eating.
meal at 10, and I go to bed at
Yeah,
10:30.
Oh, it's about 9:30.
Yeah, we
Mm.
start making it at 9:30. By the
Yeah,
time I fucking eat it, it's 10 o'clock.
true.
Oh, should we end it there?
Yeah, I gotta roll. I gotta go get
Yeah.
Boston some lunch. I'm into some lunch from dinner soon. So
Yeah, no worries. What is it? Fucking probably next month I'll start seeing who pops up and we'll get some competitors on.
yeah, sweet, that'll be cool.
Yeah, how many was it? Must be
It's like 15 weeks out. Or
15.
the first
yeah,
oh
show.
it's
no,
yeah.
Oh, for the
14, I
no,
first
think.
15 till Queensland. I think.
Yeah, it's
So,
like
15
14, 15 or
Queensland.
14 till Queensland. Yeah.
mm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I might even record the posing classes that obviously I can't in other states, but in Adelaide I'll record them and upload them to YouTube as well. So we can get an idea of what a posing class is like when they going to one.
Well, we can edit one. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
we'll edit
Condense
one.
it.
Because it's I don't know where it's going to be run yet. There's speculation because it's run by different people this time.
Yep.
Do you have posing classes in every state for yours?
We usually have one, I think. Yeah, there's usually one at the Gold Coast, I think, that they
Yeah,
do for
either
the every
Coomera
season.
or where is it? Coomera or I think last time was at Burley.
Yeah, they usually do them, and usually I think Tony's usually there.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, Tony's
Tony's
there.
to make
Tony's there.
a bit more of an appearance at all of them now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're pretty good for the first timers. Like
First timers.
if you have no fucking idea how to pose, they can be pretty fucking helpful. Yeah.
Or no idea going into their first show, like how it's run. And
Yeah.
at least you get to meet people as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is also like, yeah, that's why I did that one that I did. But then you run into the issue of showing up and seeing someone like Cam there and then feeling like shit about yourself for the rest of the prep. But I mean, that just comes with it anyway. You're either going to feel like shit then or you're going to feel like shit on show day when you see him. And you're like, oh, fuck, I don't look like that.
I think you'd rather feel like shit at posing. Otherwise, you
Yeah.
step on stage, you got the whole crowd in front of you. So imagine the anxiety. You're like, fuck, I'm
I
shit. They're
mean,
gonna think I'm shit.
you still get it, man. That was the worst part about my first show was like getting there and just being a fucking whatever. I was 20 years old, and I'm like looking at everyone, and I'm like, oh, like I'm not peeled like that. I was like, I thought I was lean. I'm like, I had no other competitors around me up this way, and I was like, I'm just training out of a world gym. There was no one else that was prepping or anything, and I'm like, oh shit, man, like I'd never seen anyone like peeled before, and then I was like, oh god, like I don't look like that. that was
Yeah.
that was
And
the
you're like,
worst.
I think you
can I
always
change the
have
fit model?
at some level. Yeah,
Yeah,
you always have at some level. Like even when I was doing these shows recently, like I'm backstage looking at everyone else going, "Fuck, these guys are huge.
yeah,
What the fuck? What am I doing here? Like, this is
yeah. Did because there was a oh yeah that was you did New York, eh?
No, I did Tampa in Texas.
Oh, that was just I thought you did New York and Texas. Yeah, okay, but
It didn't
was
matter Riley in New
Texas?
York, or is it just his missus?
No,
Nah, Matt.
she's actually-
Emily did New
yeah.
York. Yeah.
Yeah, because I was talking to Matt. I think he was still in New York, and I was talking to him and at the Queensland show last year, and he was saying that he was like, man, people were saying that it wasn't Nick Walker's best showing that New York, but he was like, bro, it was. He's like, it was so fucked up to see in real life. People reckon he wasn't that conditioned. He's like, I've never seen anyone that conditioned in my life.
People
Yeah.
go off pictures way too much. I'm like, you got to see someone in person before you make any fucking call.
Mm.
You can't see 3D. You can't see anything from pictures.
Yeah, no. I mean, you would have got that as well at Romania as well. Hey,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's completely different when you're there. But
yeah.
some
There's
guys,
some.
I look at them, how the fuck do they make? How do they make heavies? Because I couldn't carb up because of my fatigue. I was super heavies national, but I couldn't even make super heavies at Romania. Couldn't eat enough to get there.
Yeah, okay.
My weight was just coming down. There was one night there before show. I'm like, she's just like, I was lighter at night than I was in the morning, and I already had like 8,000 calories. I went out and fucking binged eat. She's like, let's go down the street and eat whatever's open. I'm like, all right. I just went out and ate whatever. Fucking, I was sick. My stomach, I was so bloated. Like, out here. Woke up 2 kilos lighter. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's nuts.
I couldn't get it. But like, there's people in front of me. I'm like, heavyweights. I'm like, these guys, I swear they're super heavy. I don't know if they're cheating the system or it's fucking hollow bones.
Yeah, yeah. Some people just have that ability, man, to be really, really fucking light for how they look. Like some people are just really good at that. But who was the freakiest person you reckon you saw at Romania for the
Oh,
like in the pro
it's
show?
gonna be a Kim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only reason he didn't win is I think his high lat insertions throw him off. His back shots,
Who beat him again? Was it Rafa?
Raphael.
Yeah, yeah,
Horse MD was you know what though, you can tell where there's the elite pros and where they separate. It's like those guys were so soft by the night show. In person, I was like, "Come on, guys, you get your shit together." Like you could tell they were holding water. I don't know what they were doing, walking around
Oh,
back
okay.
then, but they got so much softer by the night show,
Who? All of them?
just about.
Yeah,
The
really.
Raphael softened up a little bit. Max Charles is probably actually harder.
Yeah.
Sorry, Kim Williams was harder.
Team.
Oh, yeah.
Horse and see that's why Horse got fourth because he went so fucking soft that fourth guy I didn't know his name. Ended up beating
Yeah,
Horse
I remember that guy. Yeah,
'cause he stayed the same hardness as he was from the morning.
yeah,
But like
yeah,
I'm like, oh, well, this is it started being looking amateurish. So
yeah. Okay.
when we were at the Toronto show, when we watched Toronto Pro, Ian Valaire's last show.
Yeah,
When I was at that show, like man, Ian's fucking huge. Like these and Hassan's, man, these guys are nuts. Because even seeing him at the gym,
Size huge.
fucking huge,
Yeah.
man. Because we were at walk, we were
Yeah.
training at pure muscle the whole time, and
yeah. I remember seeing you
every
upload that.
day,
Yeah,
Urs was there, Hassan, Justin Shire, like Nick Walker was
that's
there for a
cool.
couple of days. And I'm like, I'm like, oh, what's his name? What's that black guy?
Quentin.
Yeah,
Quick.
Quentin the rear.
Quentin, yeah.
I'm like, man, fuck. I said, I need to train here. I said, I feel like a piece of shit. Like that's how I
Yeah.
want to feel. I don't want to walk around going the biggest guy in the
No.
gym. I'm like, just the density of these guys.
Yeah, that's the worst place, like worst person to be is the biggest person.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
hate
100%.
Yeah,
People, yeah,
yeah.
people, I think don't understand that at all. Like, if you can search for a gym where you're like the shit one and you can train there, like,
Mm.
you are going to excel so much faster.
yeah.
Much faster. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like what they say, well, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room.
100%, man, 100%. But yeah, I think pure muscle and fitness would be like is definitely one of my bucket list gyms to train at, just because of the people.
Yeah.
We did that leg session with Big Mike. He
And
took us to a leg session.
heads up, they all
Oh.
train about 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. They will train after meal two, guys. Meal
Yeah.
two.
Yeah, they do. I remember
Oh,
Ernest
man,
saying
that's
that. He was
They
said,
probably sleep in. It probably is their meal one.
yeah, Ernest is like, I sleep in, then I have a meal, then I have a nap, and then I come and train. Then I eat, and then I come and train. Because
Yeah.
it's less busy for them as well in the,
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
middle of the day. They can actually
yeah,
got, no interruptions and
Cam would know that. Coming from construction, now shit training in the afternoon.
yeah.
Oh
Oh,
yeah, dude. I try and avoid it. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, no,
I
it's
swear, I'll
rough.
go
Yeah.
back to work. I won't be surprised if I get banned from the gym.
You won't.
People do my head in, mate.
What about you, Cam? When you're at those shows, who do you think was the freakiest that you saw
Oh,
in person?
Andrew Jacks, bro.
Oh yeah,
It's
of course.
crazy. It's wild. I mean, like, yeah,
Yeah,
it's just wild.
yeah, because he's so tall
Yeah.
too, eh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
just like, and seeing him on stage, seeing him pose, like it's like a statue. It doesn't move, and
Yeah.
it's like I don't know what the difference is between him and like Texas, and then when you see him at Olympia, like it was just a completely different aura to him at Texas. But like when you watch him at the Olympia,
Yeah.
it's like he looks like he doesn't even want to be there.
Yeah,
But
I was
like,
gonna say he's probably just a lot more confident, man. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, because he knows he's gonna win or something, you know.
Yeah.
So he's
yeah,
like,
like
more
he
confident,
won the previous
like,
year or something. He come in, he's like he's
yeah.
ready to fucking take it, you know. Yeah,
They actually mentioned that same thing on Fuad's podcast, saying about Andrew Jacks, how he looks better when he's confident.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think everyone does, man. I think if you come into a show confident, like you're gonna just shine on stage. Like it just like you exude that on your stage presence rather than just being someone who's anxious the whole time. And like it's easier said than done not being anxious when you get on stage. But like, yeah, it's if you can be confident, then fuck, it's gonna completely change the way you look.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
for instance,
a
there's a lot
big
of
thing
girls.
too. By the way, big thing I picked up too when I was over there. When everyone comes out and does their individuals before they do their compulsories, they all look like they're going to win. Like
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
all just look, they're all looking nuts, and you're just looking at them going, "Fuck, this guy's crazy." Next one comes out, he's crazy, and then like, but when they stand next to stuff like next to each other,
See the
like
flaws.
they can look like a different person.
Yeah.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
it's just, yeah, it's really cool.
Is
Like
it still? It's still pretty easy to
how they
judge.
look in the lineup matters like
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah. Is it
Yeah.
still pretty easy to judge? Like when you actually, even at that level, like even though they all look so good, is it still pretty easy to tell? Like, oh, he's much better than this guy and whatnot.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
why I hate that. Yeah, leading up
You
to
can
show.
see they don't have their favorites. Like
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
they put them in the right order. Yeah.
yeah, that's why
yeah,
I hate leading up to show. You get all these Instagram pictures. Oh man, this 3 weeks out looking nuts. Yeah, it's an
Yeah.
Instagram picture, isolated environment. Got the best
Yeah.
side, is trying to make himself look so good. It's a
Mm,
fucking mad difference when you put him on stage. You cannot
yeah.
compare anything to Instagram pictures
nah, yeah, it's always completely different, 100%.
because
Mm.
it's like how many people? I'm sure people come up to all you guys. Oh, you look way bigger in real life or something. Than your pictures. Or I didn't think you were that
Yeah,
big or
Mm,
something.
I especially get it being tall as well. Like when you're fucking 6 foot, like you're never ever gonna look big on Instagram photo because
Yeah,
everyone is
frame.
within the same frame. Everyone's within this frame, so I
mm.
just look skinnier. But
Yeah.
but then yeah, when people see me in the real life, I'm like fuck, I didn't realize you were like this tall as well. And it's like
Yeah,
yeah,
you take up space.
yeah, just take up more space. And then
Yeah.
I think yeah, that's it. But that was actually one of the coolest things about these Asian shows is like, man, they fucking love bodybuilding over there, man. Like, and dude, like, I'm a fucking nobody. Like, I placed like second and third, and like, I'm fucking no one. But I had like a lineup of people wanting to take photos of me after the show, like just
Mm.
people in the crowd, like just coming up and like asking for my Instagram and like taking photos of me in front of the banner. I had like people in the gym when I'm training, like people stopped in the gym to like film me when I'm like training and posing and stuff in the gym. Like it's cool as fuck. I felt like a fucking celebrity. I
Yeah,
was like,
that's
dude,
really
I'm
cool.
just fucking nobody. But it was like they just like they're just massive fans of it all over there. So that was like that really added to the experience on the show days as well.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah,
that's one thing Cam wouldn't get going to America. There's too many big guys over there that's trying to stand out.
I heard
Oh
that. Like
yeah, yeah.
apparently, when you go there,
Nah,
just no one gives a fuck about you.
Mm.
that's like I like that.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
like that. Like it's just
yeah,
you go there and like you're an IFBB pro, yeah, big deal,
big
motherfucker.
Yeah,
deal.
big deal.
yeah.
Everyone's IFBB pro.
It's good. Yeah, you need to have that.
Yeah,
Like, okay, cool. I
yeah,
obviously need to get to a very fucking good level to be important. So it's like,
yeah,
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 it's same thing. It's like if you're the big fish, then yeah,
yeah.
it's not going to get you anywhere.
Yeah, it's because like even here in Australia, like we walk around like I don't know how many people look at B. You're like,
Yeah,
see a big girl, they're like, what the fuck? Yeah, it's like the fuck's
Mm,
this girl's huge. Like everyone looks at you when you're walking around.
yeah.
yeah.
Just
But yeah,
yeah.
obviously because we're in Melbourne, but you're a local Cam. You obviously your local shopping centre, people are used to seeing you. They get used to.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Try
It
try
is
not to wear
still.
a singlet when you go to shops.
Yeah, yeah,
Don't do
100%. If you, it's so much worse here in Australia though. Like if you walk around in a singlet or whatever, like I mean, you guys will know fucking Andrew, you live in a fucking singlet. But like if people see you, like especially in Australia, you get more like dirty looks and stuff. Like people just like
Mm,
look at you, think you're fuck with. But
Yeah.
if you walk around in like I walk around in Thailand in a
mm,
singlet or no shirt, and people like they love it, bro. They're like cheering out at you,
mm,
like, oh, big man, muscles. They're like,
mm,
oh, they fucking love it,
In
man.
in Japan, they look at you, but they're like, oh, muscle.
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
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 They fucking love it everywhere. I have like the security people and like fucking even in the airports and stuff. I have like security people, like all the Asian guys, like pat me down and they're like, oh, very good. Fucking, they're funny, man. It's like they love it over there in Thailand, man. So like, it's just a better environment. Like they're so much just yeah happier. You're not gonna get dirty looks and shit like you will in Australia, walking around looking like that.
Mrs. Love this. I was walking down the street today because we went to lunch with her brother, and then we got gelato Messina after because we haven't had Messina the whole time we've been here. It's not as good in Adelaide, and we were walking back to the house, and this BMW drives past, Ghost Man, and the guys are hanging out the window,
Yeah,
and I'm like, It's just like, oh God, your ego's just gone up to here.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. But yeah, I can imagine being in America. Like it's a completely different ball game. Like especially how many pros there are.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But when
it's cool.
I don't know where you train, Cam, because like obviously you train with Hunter and that trains, but like in where we were in Florida in Iron Religion, there wasn't many big people there.
Not until
Well,
You know what
I
I mean?
knew I wanted to stay like so when Tash organized our accommodation, I just said like I want to stay near MI40 and when we go to Texas I want to stay near Destination Dallas.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Is that are
But
you gonna do the same thing
again,
this year?
how many
Huh?
big people were there?
Are you doing the same thing this year? Well, that's what
Yep.
we're talking about.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
How many
No,
big
that
people were
was what we
actually?
did last time. That's what we did last time. Oh yeah, I'm gonna do the same thing this year.
How
Yeah.
many big people were
Yeah.
actually at the gym besides bodybuilders? Was there actually like 80% are still everyday people?
I reckon yeah, no, there was a lot of everyday people, but
Yeah.
like compared to Australia, there was a lot more like. But I suppose like because everyone's in town for the show, right?
Yeah,
So you're gonna
Yeah,
see like a lot more people in the gym that are there for comps. So
yeah, that's true.
yeah. When you go to certain gyms and even up here in Australia around like the week of nationals, like especially rigs, like we get packed out of competitors around that week of
yeah,
nationals. And
Actually,
it's pretty
speaking of
cool.
that, what I think one thing is a rip-off, like World Gym when we come to when we're obviously in Brisbane, there was no Derek gyms, but they're like it's like times of nationals and they're still charging $40 a casual session. I'm like, can't you do a weekly pass for the competitors? I'm like,
yeah,
they got to sort something out for competitors. Like I know it's a business, but like you're going to get footage there. People are going to record their workouts. Like surely you can compromise a deal for that week for competitors where they can do like $100 weekly pass or something.
yeah.
People
They didn't charge
$40.
us to train at MI40 or Destination
Yeah,
Dallas.
Well,
No,
pros are normally
that's
good. Like
fucking
even when we
cool.
went to Pure Muscle, she was only an amateur then doing the Toronto Pro Show. Because she was competing, she got half price on the deal. I had to pay full price.
yeah,
So pros get it free when they're competing.
yeah,
They're cheap.
mm.
So you do get something for paying 450, 100 or $450 a year. Free gym.
yeah,
Gym.
Pretty chill.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck
yeah.
yeah. Well, I didn't
Anyway,
even
guys, I gotta go.
Yeah. Well, cool. Thanks for
Yeah,
coming on,
sorry.
guys.
Yeah,
yeah,
And
no problem.
I'll upload it as soon as I can, and
yeah.
we'll talk again soon.
Talk
Sweet,
to you
thanks for
soon.
having me on.
Yeah.
See you next time.
the